is. Did you know there's been nothing in the American culture and nothing in the church of the Lord Jesus Christ that has separated the body more than these stupid things right here? We call them safety precautions. No, what these are gags, ladies and gentlemen.
No. This is a gag. Available at ddlgplayground.com, coupon code Suris. What's up, everyone? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day so far. If not, well, we got a fan art section coming up, so maybe that'll cheer you up. First, we have Country Balls Suris by Aurora, followed by What Looks Like Me in an Orchard by I Don't Exist, and finally ending with a pumpkin version of Rule 63 Suris, or at least I think it is, and that one is by Orokinchi. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions, and let's lock down and get ready for this.
These have become idols. These don't do anything whatsoever. They're the dumbest thing that's ever been created by humanity, okay? They are scientifically proven to do jack sprat.
Hey, Greggy Poo, are you 100% certain about that? Because last I checked, the science says that water droplets, at least the droplets that coronavirus would actually be spreading by, are about 5 microns. A micron is a unit of measurement we use to determine the size of things that are incredibly small. So for instance, a human hair is roughly 60 to 100 microns around. Water droplets from rain can be about 1,000 microns large. More if it's rain coming from a thunderstorm. A homemade mask that's made by literally cutting up a t-shirt, so, you know, certainly not professional grade, can capture 69% of 1 micron particles that try to pass through it, compared to a more professional surgeon mask, which will catch 96.4% of those particles. Now, I know that the coronavirus is about 1.5 microns in size, but the thing is that the coronavirus cannot transfer unless it is attached to a droplet. So whenever you're unleashing your tirade of 5 micron droplets every time you decide to cough, just know that your mask can catch those droplets even if they were 1/5 of the size they are right now. So for all the people who are freaking out about the size of coronavirus and the masks not being able to stop them, yeah, no, sorry, the data doesn't pan out. The science doesn't pan out. Greg Locke doesn't pan out. But what else does Greg Locke have to say?
But I'll tell you religiously what they've done. They've divided the body of the Lord Jesus Christ. These things are so dumb. You know, Walmart says now you have to have one, but they're going to charge you $8 to have one. So my wife gave me one that we have to carry around for obvious reasons. So I went into Walmart today. I'm not even got to the store yet. I'm just letting you, share the video. I'm about to get fired up about some stuff, so I'd suggest that the kiddos get out of the room. But anyhow, so I walk around Walmart today with this off. All I did was do like this. They get in the door, and then I walk around. There's 300, 400 people in there, and all these sheep are walking around. They all got their masks on, they're all just like a bunch of little mechanized robots walking around. We have our mask. We are safe. COVID-19 cannot get to us. And I'm walking around with this thing in my hand. Nobody said jack sprat. Nobody said a word.
Okay, probably because all of the minimum wage workers at Walmart didn't want to spend any of their time dealing with a douchebag. As somebody who's done the job at Walmart before, I used to work in Department 82 there, the last thing I wanted to do when I came into work was deal with self-entitled pricks like you. You can sit there and go, haha, everybody around me is a robot, but I actually am not. Do you see me? I am not wearing my mask. I am not the person that you should be worried about. I am definitely a super smart individual. It doesn't actually matter. So what that you weren't stopped by a random Walmart employee? That doesn't say anything about the science of masks. All it shows is that you're a book-eating boner waffle.
Here is what Pastor Greg Locke is super duper over the top fired up about. It is no secret that I love Dunkin' Donuts. Holy macaroni, they ought to give me a preaching sponsorship. Listen, I have had hundreds of people in the last few years all over the world send me Dunkin' Donuts gift certificates and gift cards because I always talk about Dunkin'. I go to Dunkin' every single day, and every day I get the same thing. I get 2, right here, count them, 2 medium hot coffees, 7 cream, 5 sugar in each one. Yeah, I know I got a problem, but that's another video. 7 cream, 5 sugar, medium coffee, I get 2 of them, 2. My family and I are out of town for a few days, spend some time with the kids, and I know the sign on Dunkin' Donuts says that it is mandatory for you to have a mask when you walk in, but I've been going to that Dunkin' Donuts for the last several days since we've been here, and nobody has said a peep. Nobody has said jack squat about anything. I'm going in, I'm nice, I order my 2 coffees, 7 cream, 5 sugar, and I walk out. I do it every day, about 9 in the morning and 5 or 6 o'clock at night. Every single day. I do it at home, and every town I preach in, every place I go, nothing has been any different. And so I've been going the last few days with the signs on the door, but I still don't wear the mask because I'm not in compliance. I'm in defiance. I'm sick of this nonsense, and you should be too. But I'm standing there, I ordered my stuff, I've paid for my stuff, I've kindly, gently talked to the ladies that have talked to me every single day that are super nice, and then all of a sudden, here comes Nazi Skippy. He comes walking out with his little mask, and he's like, sir, I just want you to know. Now, by the way, he didn't have to embarrass me in front of everybody, but he did, which is probably a mistake, because I'm not a real silent guy when you push my buttons too far. He's like, sir, the next time you come to my store, I want you to have a mask on. I said, okay, Lord, just help me. May I stay calm? May I not say a word? But I'm not a sheep. And so sometimes I just have to say things back. I said, sir, I've been coming to this store for the last several days and nobody has said one thing to me about one of these silly masks. He's like, well, last night at 5 o'clock, it was an actual mandate. I said, wait a minute, you just lied to me in front of all these people in the store because the sign has been saying for 2 or 3 days when I've been coming in 2 or 3 times a day to get my 7 cream, 5 sugar, 2 medium coffees. It's been saying every day that I can't come without a mask and nobody said a word.
Again, whether or not the individual employees feel like dealing with a boner waffle like you doesn't actually say anything about whether or not a mandate was present, and it doesn't say anything about whether or not they felt comfortable enforcing the mandate. Again, as somebody who has been in customer service, there are many times where I will just take the L in a conversation because it means you will get out of my store quicker and I don't have to deal with you. And it's not a lie for a company to say it's their policy for you to wear a mask and then a national mandate come out afterwards reinforcing those already established company policies. It's not a lie at all. As it turns out, business policies can be different than national law. For instance, it might not be illegal for me to go outside my house in nothing but my underwear, rubbing my nipples against the wind despite God, but if I were to take the exact same nipple-rubbing enthusiasm into a Dunkin' Donuts, I would probably be asked to leave because I'm being indecent. You know what? They're right. I forgot the oil. What kind of self-conscious individual rubs their nipples without applying oil? Anyways, none of what you said suddenly makes anything that the manager told you a lie.
It's just now a mandate. I said, no, it's not. I said, it's just now something you got your feelings hurt about. And I said, look, I've already paid for my stuff. Just give me my stuff. He's trying to act like they're not even going to give me what I already paid for. And I was doing everything I could spiritually not to come over the counter and still be a pastor in public because I'm sure there's cameras everywhere because people recognize me all over the place. So I was like, look, just give me my stuff. I've already paid for it. I thank the ladies. I said, y'all doing a great job. Thank you so much. But this guy, oh man, he was getting on my ever-loving nerves. And then to be all things, here I have my 2 coffees. Ask anybody that walks with me any time of the day. I always have my 2 medium coffees. But here's what I did. I walked up to the door like I do every day, at least twice, if not 3 times a day. I put my foot at the bottom of the door. I pushed it open and I began to walk out to my car. And what does this, Lawn Ranger, masked man do? He's like, oh, now I see what you're trying to do. Now you're mad because I said something about a mask and you're trying to kick the glass out of the door. Woo!
Uh-huh. I'm sure it happened exactly like that. 110%, I definitely believe you.
So I walked back in with my 2 cups of coffee, and I said, let me be truthful in what I said, because more than likely it's on video, and it'll be on Newsweek or Time Magazine sometime this week. I said, sir, I did not try to kick the glass in your door. I very calmly pushed the door open with my foot because it's what I do every day. Oh, no, I saw you. You tried to kick the glass out of the door. I said, if you call me a liar one more time, I'm going to take these work boots and I'm going to kick your teeth down your throat. Yes, I said it, and the moment I meant it. I said, sir, listen to me very closely. I will be back tonight at 5 o'clock like I am every single day of my life to get my 2 medium coffees, 7 creams, and 5 sugar. I will be back tonight, and I will not be wearing a mask. He said, I'm telling you, I'm going to make sure that I'm on shift, and I'm going to be here at 5 o'clock, and I will not let you in the door if you do not have a mask. Now, I'm not really sure my wife's going to let me go back at 5 o'clock, but I can tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to the God in heaven that I would have brought my bullhorn, because I'd be standing on the top of this rental truck right now in their parking lot raising Cain for Jesus Christ, preaching the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm so sick of this mass brigade nonsense.
So wait, hold on. Let me just try to figure out what you're saying here. I'm going to go ahead and assume you're being truthful because my nipple lie detectors are not working very well right now. What I'm hearing is that you threatened somebody at their work establishment with physical violence, and you're celebrating the fact that they wouldn't like that, and then you're going to preach the gospel of the guy who claimed that the meek shall inherit the earth because you were so willing to kick somebody's face. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. With an attitude like that, I can see why people wouldn't want to approach you. In fact, I'm actually really concerned as to how you even have a wife. I mean, I know your last one divorced you when you fucked a secretary on your desk, but no, in all seriousness, I can see why no worker would want to deal with you in any way, shape, or form.
Bunch of Nazis, bunch of people say you can't even go to stores, you can't do it. People driving around in their cars, in their old flipping cars, wearing a mask, because, I might get COVID. I'm sick of it. We don't require masks in our church, and listen, we probably had 450 people crammed into a tent this past weekend. 2 people in the whole place had a mask. If they want to wear a mask, that is great. I'm not going to mandate it. As a matter of fact, I discourage it, because I think it's utter nonsense. And I get kicked out of a Dunkin' Donuts. I've been going there for years, every single day. Now Dunkin's going to get mad because I'm making this video, making them look bad. Well, look, don't let your silly people embarrass me after I go in there every single day without a mask on, and then you're going to tell me I can't come back unless I have a mask. Well, I'm telling you, friends, this stuff is nonsense. Then trying to say I kicked out the door just because you're upset because I called you out on your foolishness. I'm not doing it. I'm not bowing down. I'm not in compliance. I am in utter defiance of this.
Wait, they didn't claim you kicked out the door. They claimed you were trying to. Likely because you were incredibly frustrated when you decided to exit the building. I would imagine if you went from 0 to 100 and immediately started telling a manager that you were going to kick their teeth in, that likely there might have been a few indications in your body language that you were definitely not being as calm and collected as you're trying to claim you are right now. In fact, actually, you've had all the time in the world to compose yourself, and now that you're on camera, you're an absolute farking lunatic. And yet you want to convince your audience, and by extension me, who is currently, temporarily, your audience, that you, in fact, were an incredibly calm individual the entire time. The nipple sensors aren't buying it.
Listen, I'll go to jail over this situation. It is the golden calf. I'm sick of Christians saying things like this. Well, it's just a mask. You know what they used to say? Oh, it's just a baby. It's just a zygote. It's just a growth in the mother's womb. So let's kill it. No, it's not just a mask. It's a compliance device.
This just in, local idiot truly and honestly believes putting on a mask is anywhere near akin to aborting a baby. Now, while I may not be pro-abortion, I am certainly pro-choice. I think that a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy when it's in their own body because, well, nobody is owed the use of their own body to anyone. But Greg, even you should be able to see the difference between killing a literal child, something that only helps atheists get their breakfast in the morning, and putting a cloth covering on your face, no different than putting pants over your incredibly massive dick. At least, I would hope you see the difference between those things.
This is not about safety. This is about surrendering of our rights. Can I remind you, this is still the United States of America. This is not communism. This is not China. This ain't North Korea. I don't live in Haiti. I don't live some other country somewhere where I'm under the guise of communism and socialism. This is the United States of America. Y'all hear me? Trump 2020. I'm a pastor, and I've approved this message. I'm telling you, we're one election away from losing everything. And we got these mamby-pamby Christians saying, well, it's just a mask, and the Bible says that we ought to love our neighbor. Listen, if it was about safety, if it was about your health, then pray tell me two things. Number one, how come your mask don't work? Why you gotta freak out if I don't wear one?
Simple, because if you had actually taken any time to look at the science for masks, which obviously you wouldn't look at the science, you're sitting there supporting Trump. I know this is an ad hominem, but come on, dude. You don't see the correlation between science deniers and Trump supporters? But anyway, if I need to explain this, I'm gonna go ahead and do so anyway. Your mask is more about protecting others than protecting you, because when you cough, your mask prevents the spray of the less than 5 micron sized water droplets, which carry the coronavirus itself. If you are not wearing a mask and you happen to be a carrier, which for 14 days you can be without having any symptoms whatsoever, and you cough, spraying everything out into God knows where, in fact, you could even just spray it onto a random table, and somebody touches that table for any reason. It can be to clean it, it can be for eating, it doesn't matter. Once they have done so, if at any point they touch their eye, their nose, their mouth, anything like that because of an itch or, literally any bodily function, they have now taken and imbibed the coronavirus. A coronavirus that wouldn't have been there had you been wearing your mask. It's not an airborne virus that you breathe in and therefore the mask can protect you. It is a virus that has to transfer over water droplets and therefore must be stopped at the source. Can I also take a very quick aside to talk about how funny it is that this guy is upset that people want him to be in compliance of something, but his way of fighting against that is to argue that he would stand on top of his trunk with an air horn and try to force other people to be in compliance of his religion. Can I just sit back and drink a soda and toast to the absolute fucking irony? And I probably should go ahead and point out this guy probably can't even define communism or socialism. Because as anybody with even a moderate amount of knowledge in politics can tell you, communism is not about comporting to everyone else. Unless you view all forms of communism as authoritarian. Which, there's at least 1 or 2 ANCOMs in my audience that can probably explain the problem with that.
And secondarily, if it's about your health, let me tell you what, next time I see you with a cigarette and a Big Mac in your mouth, I'll slap that out of your hand as well. Are you kidding me? This ain't about safety. This is about the rules of compliance.
By that logic, if somebody was even a pound into the obesity scale, you would take a scalpel to their fat just to drag them down. With a pandemic around, something being about health in one scenario is perfectly acceptable when there are other unhealthy habits people engage in. Eating a Big Mac does not get you the coronavirus. Smoking a cigarette does not get you the coronavirus, even though I think smoking is absolutely fucking repulsive. The only way either of those things are going to let you catch the coronavirus is if the person eating the Big Mac was infected and handed it to you. Or similarly, if you were taking a drag off someone else's cigarette who was equally infected. This is a category error, Greg. Just like the one you made before about masks being like abortions. I know you're a Trump supporter, but I really want you to use your brain. Just a little bit. Please.
It's just a mask. Yeah, next, it's just a chip. It's just a vaccine. It's just a one world government. It's just a mark, Pastor Locke. You said that's a big stretch. Are you kidding me? We jumped 50 years prophetically in the last 6 months in 2020 in the United States and around the world. And Christians want to say, it's just a mask. It's not a mask. It's a censorship device. It's a tool to get all the sheep to walk around and look the same and talk the same and act the same. Most of the people learn got their nose sticking out anyhow. This thing is ridiculous. I'm sick of hearing about these masks. I'm done with the whole, it ain't a mandate. It's an unenforceable suggestion. Say it again, preacher Locke, for the people in the back. It's not a mandate. This ain't a command. You know what? I got a constitution that tells me I can leave my house. I got a constitution and a Bible that tells me I can pastor a church through a fake pandemic. They're trying to silence anybody that's telling the truth, and they're trying to propagate everybody that is peddling falsehood. I ain't living in fear. My family ain't living in fear. My kids ain't living in fear. Our church ain't living in fear. If I preach to 2 people or 2,000 people, I don't give 2 flips of a wooden nickel. I'm telling you, I am not going to lay down, roll over, and comply.
Cool. Nobody's gonna ask you to lay down and roll over. You've already got a perfect angle for licking the boots. You needn't change anything about your current demeanor. I should probably point out that if you want to talk about the Constitution, it's not the Bible that gives you any of your power to pastor a church. That would have to do with your local law. No amount of reading any book endows you with any amount of magical power, allowing you to become a priest. That's just a right you have for living in the United States. You can be a con man if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do it. And capitalists exist everywhere. You're fine. Also, I love the slippery slope fallacy you engaged in, and you tried to back it up by saying that we had 60 years of prophecy. Dude, do you know how many failed prophecies there are in the Bible? Are you even aware of the fact that to make any of your actual prophecies that are in your book try to pan out in reality, you have to stretch and warp them way past the intended meaning of the original authors? But if I were to apply your logic, then pants are a compliance device, shirts are a compliance device, and my well-oiled nipples must be free.
Today's Dunkin' Donuts fiasco, it was just it for me. It was just it. Telling me I can't come back in if I don't wear a mask, and then try to convince everybody in the room and accuse me that I tried to kick the glass out. I'm telling you, it makes me want to kick the devil right in the mouth is what it makes me want to do. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. I don't care how many friends I lose. I don't care. Listen, I ain't bowing down to the golden calf for your mama, for my mama, for the president, for anybody. I'm not. They're going to have a lot of handcuffs to mess with our church. We're ready to go to war.
Boy, that would be funny to see an army of snowflakes being headed by Pastor Greg Locke, attempting to go to war with a tyrannical government. You know, I'm pretty certain if you wanted to go to war with a tyrannical government, then you would have already done so, considering that they've been gassing United States citizens, violating the Geneva Convention and BLM protests. If you were actually going to do jack shit about tyranny, you would have already done it. You're saying a few things here as well that I find absolutely hilarious. First of all, you say that you wouldn't worship the golden calf for the president, but you're sitting there screaming Trump 2020. You're already doing it, man! You're already there. Also, I love how the story for the kicking of the glass changes every single time you say it. The first time you mentioned it, it was akin to a personal confrontation that just happened to take place in public. And now it sounds more like a Dunkin' Donuts case of Phoenix Wright, where the manager of this Dunkin' Donuts is attempting to prove in a court of donut law that you attempted to kick glass in using all kinds of evidence, and you even admit that you violently threatened him. There isn't a way in which you come out of this looking good, Greg.
Our church is going to keep meeting. We aren't going to stop praying, preaching, prophesying, giving, loving people. I'm not putting up with this foolishness anymore.
You're going to keep praying, which does nothing, prophesying, which does nothing, loving by telling people you'll kick their teeth in, and then sitting here calling people who merely disagree with you Nazis and being the biggest performative snowflake I've seen on the planet. Well, I say the biggest. Your golden calf Trump is actually just a little bit bigger. It's rounder in the tummy, and the toupee at least adds an extra inch or two where his mushroom didn't.
Telling you, I'm done with it. Absolutely done with it. This is nothing but a gag device. I ain't using it. I ain't bowing down to it. You can be as mad as you want to get. I do not care. I'm not writing a book on how to win friends and influence people. I'm trying to build the kingdom of God through the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I'm not laying down. I'm not rolling over. They probably said to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, it's just a golden statue. Daniel, it's just an ordinance that says you can't pray in public. You can still do it in private. But Daniel 6:10 says he'd always done it before, and so he did it right then, and he was going to do it the very next day. They probably said, oh, Paul, look, it's just a mandate that says you can't preach on the street. Peter, it's just a little mandate. It's just a citation that says you can't heal people in the name of Jesus Christ. It's just a bunch of garbage is what it is. You know why they sort out so much toilet paper? Because it's bull crap. You are a sheep if you still believe the lies. The numbers are inflated. The death tolls are inflated. Have you heard of anybody this year that had flu or influenza? No, because they make them all COVID deaths. Even Dr. Fauci doesn't even believe what he says. He goes out in public without one of these stupid controlling devices. And that's what this is. It's a device of mass control. This little bitty tiny mask. And so look, the Dunkin' Donuts fiasco, the Walmart stuff, I'm over it. I've had a mind full, I've had a gut full, I've had a heart full, and I'm fighting mad about this stuff. I'm finished with it. I don't care if the page grows, I don't care if the page dies, they're probably going to censor me. Listen, I never thought in my wildest imagination that I would be willing to go to jail over a mask, but I am, because it's not about a mask, it's about silence. And our silence has become our surrender. Stand up, church, speak out, church. It is time to bow your back like a baby rooster and push back against this golden calf culture that we are living in. That is my message. I'm sticking to it. I ain't backing up, packing up, slacking up, or shutting up until I've been called up by the glory of God. We are not requiring masks. I got to get off here and do an interview with Newsweek because they want to know what we're doing for safety precautions at our church. We're preaching and we're praying. That's what we're doing. We're preaching and we're praying. And we're going to keep preaching and we're going to keep praying. They can roll the tanks and the helicopters up in our parking lot, and we're going to keep preaching, and we're going to keep praying. And so, hey, Dunkin' Donuts, if my wife lets me, I'll be back at 5 o'clock to get some more coffee. 2 medium, 7 cream, 5 sugar. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. God bless all you watching this. And thank God Jesus Christ is still the only way to the kingdom.
You know, I didn't even cut him off like that. He cut himself off. That's actually kind of funny. But again, if you want to sit here and argue against a golden calf culture, dude, you're sitting in the middle of a capitalist society worshiping a fucking billionaire. If there's a golden calf society, you are living it and you are worshiping it right now. All hail the toupeed mushroom. The book-eating Bunnerwaffle loves his mushroom. And you can't say it's a lie because my nipples have proved it's not. But no, in all seriousness, I do find it funny that one of the first videos I did about COVID-19 during this whole thing was about the Shincheonji Church, which ended up spreading the virus in several places. In fact, that church was responsible for at least 1/5 of COVID-19 cases in South Korea in the early days. And now here's Pastor Greg Locke trying to be a super spreader, so thoroughly convinced that worshiping Trump is not worshiping a golden calf, and equally convinced that a virus that scientific evidence exists of doesn't exist, that the efficacy of masks that has been shown multiple times doesn't exist. I have some other news for you, Greg. Your God? Your God? The way that you perceive God? That God? At least if he's Triomni, definitely doesn't exist. And he's not going to save you if you catch COVID. If you end up infecting yourself and then infecting your grandmother and she catches COVID. Or your mother, I don't know. I don't know the exact state of your family. I'm not willing to do that much research into you, outside of all of the other stuff that is very easily public information. You're so convinced that these things can't affect you, will not affect you, because they must be fake, they must be inflated. Well, which is it? Is it that the numbers are inflated, or is it that the numbers don't exist? I don't know, because your story changes constantly. Moreover, have we heard of anybody having influenza? Well, let's take a look. And oh, what's that? Holy shit! Thousands of influenza positive reports from the CDC. You know, you haven't heard of anybody having the flu, but all the numbers are publicly available. Greg, I'm so sorry that you are this absolutely fucking dumb. This isn't even a matter of you being ignorant and just needing to be guided along. No, at this point, you're being willfully stupid. You're not just ignorant. You are literally having access to all the data you possibly need, everything you could possibly use to come to an actual, accurate position on this, and instead you're denying it because you'd rather suck Trump's mushroom. And you know what? I'm past the point of caring. I'm at the point where I'd rather point and laugh. Because there's a point for gently guiding someone along and trying to correct their behavior. And then there comes a point where somebody is so far gone that the best thing you can do is mock. Greg, you have officially stepped over that threshold. This is not about trying to correct you. This is about pointing at you and letting you be the example that everybody else can see as to what not to be. You're not just wrong, you're hilariously wrong on practically everything you stated here. But you know what? I found this episode somewhat cathartic, so I at least want to thank you for providing me with that level of entertainment. That said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, send patronage if you want, and all that other fun stuff. If you've gotten to this point in the video, then you can actually see the patrons on screen now. These are all the $20 and up patrons. If you are a patron for over a month, then you get a slide here. If you are an under $20 patron, then you appear in the credits with everyone else at the end of the video, so if you want to support the work and what I do, and you'd like a little memorandum that you did, well then, all that's here. Patrons also get to see episodes early, as well as getting exclusive behind-the-scenes content. So if that's your jam, then head on over to Patreon. But that all said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.